Hey guys, it's Pingu here with part 14 of the Dwarf Fortress tutorial. We have this room down here set up, and it's going to be a little hospital, but we actually need to designate it as a hospital first, and this is done a bit differently than other rooms, and it can be a bit confusing. Well, not really, but you hit I for zones. It's not confusing, it's just different. And zones allow you to designate areas. Just like the name would imply. You can do this through either a rectangle, hit E to toggle that to flow, or E again to toggle to floor flow. I always use rectangle just because that even just recording this earlier, I tried flow and it crashed my game when I tried to hit escape out of it, and I've seen that bug report before. But I did that way too quickly. Sorry about that. You hit enter in the top corner, and this is removing it. I don't want to remove them. I want to place the zones. So I hit the top corner here, and I go to the bottom corner, and it will actually tell you what available zones this could be. So it looks like it could be a garbage dump, a meeting area, or a hospital. All 45 areas that would be, all tiles that would be selected there. So you can also make a water source, so your dwarfs have a designated place to drink out of. Fishing area, well they'll just fish everywhere by default. You can make pits and ponds, and you can also set areas for sand collection, but we're just going to make a hospital, and this is fine for that. Make the zone by hitting enter again, and we just want a hospital, so hit H. And that's all you need. It's set up. You see down here, set hospital information, we can hit capital H. And this will break down the things that this hospital has, and you can see there's quite a few things that are expected to be had for hospitals. We need some beds, we need some tables, some traction benches, and some boxes, bags. And within those boxes of bags, we need some threads, cloths, splints, crutches, some powder for casts, which is why we have this. We have a lot of this gypsum around, so we can make our own powder. Buckets and some soap. So we will need to stock the hospital, but first we need to actually stock the hospital with some furniture. And so it said there's a few things we needed. We can go construct them right now. I could go down to the mason's workshop and say make some 4 tables and promote this to the top, but I want to, for the rest of these, use my manager's menu I showed you guys in the last tutorial. Because you see how these doors would have taken precedence, but I want to get these tables ahead of these doors, and you can do that very easily just by going to the manager's menu, which is just JM. I just hit it. It's almost one key right now. New order, and say we need some rock coffers. Coffer. See, if you just you could just type regular coffer, because there's no actually other types of coffers than a rock one. We want 4 of those, and it's at the bottom right now. We want to promote it over the top of the door at least, but just hit P. And rather than going through P for 4 sets, putting them above all the doors, we just hit P once, and now they will be will have precedence. We also want some mechanisms. We need 1 for the well, and then I believe 1 each for the traction benches. So we want 3 of those. And we also want those traction benches, which I made at the mechanics workshop. We want 2 of those, and that should be set. We will have those made. Yep, that should be fine. Our fortress is going well. I saw a few jobs here that were suspended that I really should check out. These doors. Oh, these doors have been suspended for a while. I saw those, and that's just somebody was in the way. And we also have a little food stockpile here, and those look like spiders. That's scary. The cave lobsters. Oh yeah, I traded for some cave lobsters so you guys wouldn't run out of food. Yep, that is set. So the hospital requires a special noble as well. We need somebody to be the head doctor, so hit N. And we have no chief medical dwarf right now. This chief medical dwarf is in charge of diagnosing everybody as they come through. I don't actually remember setting this guy as a diagnostician, but regardless, we will hit enter and select him because you need that diagnosing ability. Now, I am hoping I get some more dwarfs coming in, because this dwarf is already pretty busy, or will be pretty busy, and the chief medical dwarf is required to diagnose any new patients before any other doctors can do any sort of surgery or whatever they need on them. So make that dwarf, have him know other jobs. It will be dangerous if you have any injured dwarfs, because he'll be bleeding to death, and you'll have some manager going and checking his books. But for right now, I don't have anybody else with the diagnosing ability. I could even try and find a new manager, maybe even a new broker. Like this guy's a skilled appraiser. I don't know, he's already the broker, but yeah, just you could even have a brand new novice try and do it. It's fine because they will level up pretty quickly, but it's just gonna hurt your dwarfs in the short run. So we want to dig out for this well as well. So hit D and then H for channel. I haven't covered channel yet, but it's actually pretty simple. You just dig it out like that. Just hit enter twice, and you'll have this digging icon. Now the digging icon is it's just gonna dig out the floor, and you see there's a lot of them here. I've been using it for my moat, and it's really quite easy. But if there's no area underneath, it will create these up-down ramps underneath. But if there is actually some area underneath, is there no area underneath, it will create these little dots, which mean open space. So you can get stuck very easily. The ramps make it much harder for your dwarfs to get stuck. You can see if they dig down and actually are in the hole, they can just climb out easily. But that we want to remove those ramps before you make a moat, because otherwise you can just kind of walk over it very easily. We have this hole open, but in order to make a well, we also need some more things. For the well, you need some rock blocks, just one of them. And now rock blocks are just useful as a building material. You can build a lot of things out of stone, but some things you need to use blocks for, and it just turns the rocks into a block state. You also need, I believe, one mechanism. Yeah, one mechanism. You need some ropes and some buckets, but we already have those, so it should be fine. We should have no problem, actually. Oh wow, that dwarf mined quickly. But yeah, anyway, we have a few of the things constructed, more than likely. We can build some tables now. You want to build the tables right next to the beds, because the dwarfs will, the doctors will use the tables as surgery platforms, and they will try and pick up the dwarfs and move them to a table. And if the table is across the room, they'll actually wake up the dwarf, and you won't be able to perform any surgery. So just put tables next to it. We also want to build those coffers, so I think F is coffer, or container, so H actually. And we'll just build some there. Looks like we only have the bags right now, but we're fine with those bags, just using them. Build those there, and eventually the coffers will be made. We've also got some of those traction benches. It just says it's been completed. That's the nice thing about the managers area. It will tell you when things are completed. Go down. Traction bench should be, I think, at the very bottom. Yeah, there we go. Capital R. And traction benches are used to keep your dwarfs in place so they stop squirming around. And we'll just build them next to each other over here. And for anything useful, like for setting bones, if your dwarfs refuse to stay still, they'll put them on the traction benches and then hold them down. It's a weird little icon for it, but nothing to be worried about. You see how we already made these containers, and all the dwarfs are already putting the necessary hospital stuff in here. So we already have a lot of thread, a lot of cloth, and some splints and whatnot. So we should be fine for now. But you see there's a few things we don't have, and we'll have to figure out how to make them in the future. Now, I think we have our well complete, or our blocks complete. Probably not, but I'm going to try it anyway. Well is for L. Yeah, it needs the blocks. Hold on, I'll just go boost that to the top up there, because sometimes, I don't even see it on there. It must have just been completed. And it just wasn't in the stockpile when we tried to move it. Oh, we need some buckets now. So unfortunately, they took all the buckets up here and put them in these containers. And this can happen where you have buckets that you have laying around, but they get stored in these piles. Oh, some dwarfs are already gonna move them. Sorry, this is kind of butchered, but in the meantime, we've got some areas that aren't designated, aren't channeled out yet. I want to make this go by quicker to remove any sort of plant gathering or any tree cutting to only the ones that are blocking the way, because those ones are quite annoying. Oh yeah, I designated a lot more than I need to here. And we should have those buckets ready by now. Right, there we go. So all you need is some open space and those materials. You can place it over here. You can select the blocks, the buckets, and the rope. And an end mechanism. It takes a lot to make a well. and somebody will go try and construct that, and we can rebuild those containers, and our hospital should be set for the long run. We even have the coffers being constructed now. So that's it for this part. I will see you next part, and hopefully actually try and get some injured dwarfs so I can show the treatment process.